The warships were also active during this period, in counter-battery fire and in breaking up enemy concentrations. 2 attempts by the Hermann Göring Division to drive wedges through to the coast were successfully defeated by accurate naval gunfire, and by the 13th, the division had gone over to the defensive. For the Allies, the initial stages of the campaign were marked everywhere by astonishing successes. All the landing beaches had been quickly secured at the cost of only a few hundred casualties, and during the first 2 days, they had put ashore 80,000 men, 10,000 vehicles, and 1,000 guns. By the 15th, the Allies had secured a firm lodgment in southern Sicily, infantry formations of the Italian 6th Army, and on July the 19th, the Americans launched a major offensive towards the north coast and the town of Palermo. Within 4 days, all resistance had collapsed, and the whole of western Sicily had fallen into Allied hands. The fall of Palermo was a savage blow to Italian pride, and the first casualty was Mussolini, who was dismissed from office amid public protests and expressions of disgust. In Sicily, however, the Allies were making only slow progress. The Etna Massif and the rugged country around Troina provided the Germans with ideal defensive terrain, effectively cancelling out the Allies' huge numerical and material superiority. When they abandoned the Etna line, the Germans withdrew only a few miles, anchoring their new positions on the town of Cesaro. Simultaneously, they began withdrawing their heavy equipment across the Strait of Messina to the Italian mainland. On August the 10th, the headquarters of the Italian 6th Army was relocated to Reggio, leaving the defense of northeast Sicily to Huber's 14th Panzer Corps. Over the course of the following week, the Germans withdrew steadily and systematically, successfully evacuating more than 40,000 of their own troops, along with 60,000 Italians from Sicily to Italy. The conquest of Sicily netted the Allies nearly 150,000 Italian prisoners, but very few Germans. In the last phase of the Sicilian campaign, the Allies had agreed to follow up the capture of the island with landings on the Italian mainland. The first of these was to be mounted by elements of General Montgomery's 8th Army across the narrow Strait of Messina. The landings on September the 3rd were uncontested. The Germans had prudently withdrawn the previous night, and the Italian coastal garrisons surrendered without firing a shot. As the British 8th Army advanced northwards along the toe of Italy, the American 5th Army, newly activated under General Mark Clark, was sailing for the Gulf of Salerno, 200 miles further up the coast. During the voyage, the invasion fleet was attacked intermittently by German bombers, and its progress was clearly being monitored by the Luftwaffe. But Allied commanders were confident of a successful operation. The landings on September the 9th were timed to coincide with a formal Italian surrender, and many of those aboard ship were expecting to walk shore unchallenged. Their confidence was soon to be rudely shaken.